I thought I'd remind you of the caliber of man I am. I am one of the most dangerous men on this planet. Am I a bad person? Because the more you didn't like it, the more I enjoyed it. I fucking loved how much you hated it. Sometimes you forget exactly how lucky you were to get fucked by me. Would you rather me pin you down and make you do things you didn't like, or would you rather fuck? You didn't like that I was thinking I can do whatever I want to you. That's what it is. I'm the smartest person on this fucking planet. Are you seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit? You didn't fucking pass out. Chill the fuck out. Jesus Christ, I thought you were cool. What's wrong with you? In all the women I've ever slept with, not a single one has ever bitched or complained like you are bitching and complaining now. Sometimes you forget exactly how lucky you were to get fucked by me.
Muted. Hello. Hello, everybody. Okay, I'm late for my own live stream, of course. Again, like 5 days late. Gonna be honest, I was gonna wing this whole Andrew Tate court released document. It's like 85 pages, so I said, fuck that. Let me try and go through it myself and highlight the most important parts. And it's a lot, y'all. It's a lot to go through. So, and then as that was happening, he released the BBC interview. So, we're gonna look at that too, and just a whole bunch of videos. There's just a whole lot of drama and nonsense going on in this red pill space or whatever that we're gonna take a look at tonight. But we're mostly going to talk about Andrew Tate and his situation and his case that is coming up. I have an Andrew Tate video coming out soon. I've been having trouble with my editing program, so I've been moving over to a new editing program, which was kind of a whole flusterfuck. So it's been delaying me with videos a little bit, but I think I finally have the situation figured out. So, you know what? All right, to start, I can't wait anymore. I need to watch this BBC interview. So let's start with the interview. Let's do that first.
You've agreed to do an interview.
Might help if I add the video to the stream, right?
Material's going to be
You think?
published on television, on radio, online.
Perfect.
We are doing an interview with you. Andrew Tate.
Hello.
You've agreed to do an interview with the BBC today.
Yep.
The material is going to be published on television, on radio, online.
Perfect.
We are doing an interview with you because you're facing some very serious allegations.
Correct.
Rape, human trafficking.
Yep.
And also because there's a great deal of concern about the things you say and the impact that they have on young people, on women.
I don't think the concern's about the things I say. I think the concern is for the level of influence I have and the reach I have. I would argue that a lot of the things that are already out there inside of the legacy media and the matrix as a whole are far more damaging than the things I say.
It's the concern about the influence you have being a harmful influence, but let's start with the allegations.
Not necessarily a harmful influence. The fact that I'm massively influential over the youth, and I understand that. But it's my influence as a whole which people are afraid of, not necessarily the things I say.
Let's start with the allegations. Have you raped anybody?
Absolutely not.
Have you trafficked anybody?
Absolutely not.
Exploited any women for
Absolutely
money?
not.
But you have admitted using emotional manipulation to get women to work in the webcam industry for you.
No. Firstly, let's begin let's start at the beginning. I'm facing charges. The first one you mentioned, the rape one's already been thrown out by a judge because there's no evidence of it. Secondly, it's very difficult for me to sit here and have a very frank and honest conversation with you while we're in the territory of Romania about a legal case that's going on within Romania. I have to protect myself. I've agreed to do an interview with you, and I want to be as honest with you as possible. But I can't incriminate myself in any way, and I have to be very careful with what I talk about.
There are no charges yet.
Correct. There are no charges.
Said that
there are no charges,
and
I've agreed to speak to you, but I have to be as honest and frank as I can while also protecting myself and following my legal counsel.
So let's talk about what you've said yourself then. You have said on the website, for your original website for the Hustlers University, that you emotionally manipulated women to fall in love with you so that you could get them working in the sex industry for your financial gain.
As I said, I have to be very careful with what I say, but let's put it this way. No women are coming out against me and accusing me of doing it.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. Who?
There's testimony from the current investigation.
The current investigation, which I cannot discuss, which I know intimately and you don't, I can tell you right now that the women who are in this case file, there are 2 American women who have been caught already admitting they're lying, and then nobody else is accusing me of anything.
To begin with, it's very common in cases like this that the alleged victims do not always see themselves as victims.
Well, that's very interesting. It's actually extremely interesting because if I was a matrix-controlled organization, my goal was to slander somebody and try and destroy their name. You're telling me that they've chosen a crime, which one is heinous, of course, because it damages the person's credibility. And 2, you're saying that even if everyone else involved, if you have 5 people and everyone's sitting there saying, no, nobody's hurt anybody, we like Andrew, we've all worked together, we're friends, etc.
That's not what everybody's saying.
No.
Let me read you some of the testimony from the current investigation.
Can I finish this?
One of the witnesses said...
Can I finish this?
You're not answering the question I've asked you. You're not answering the question I've asked you.
I am answering the question.
Let me read you the testimony of one of the witnesses.
You're saying the people who are involved in this, even if they say they're not victims, that they're still going to try and attack me and pretend they're victims.
Wow. Okay. This is starting off heated. Okay, so I want to start already with Andrew claiming that what he says online isn't harmful, but it's not what he says. It's the fact that he has such a large influence. This is such bullshit. It's the fact that what he says is harmful and he has such a large influence. The large influence part only matters because of the things that he says and the impression that he has on a very impressionable audience. So his audience is largely of impressionable types, which are young men and teenagers, teenage boys that are angry, that are alone, that feel rejected, that feel unheard, that feel betrayed. They feel, let's see, what's the word? Not tricked, but it's like when something has been stolen from you or something. I can't think of the word. But, and Andrew Tate has said many times how he purposely understands that these people are his audience, and he knows and understands that that audience will basically spend money, pay money for the right sale. For the right sell. And Andrew Tate is an embodiment of what they're in the market for, what these people are looking to buy. So, off the bat, in this interview, back to this interview, let's see, Andrew Tate just spent, 4 or 5 months in a Romanian prison while under investigation for human trafficking, rape, and criminal organization charges, as well as possibly others, including money laundering. So I understand he has little patience. I also think because of his recent, his last interview he did with the media, with Vice, the Vice interview, right after it was filmed obviously before he went to prison, but it was released immediately after he went to prison. I think because of how friendly he was in that interview, he wants to, be a little more hardened and give more pushback here. So he's also doing that weird thing with his hands he always does in every interview. I think it's his way of not, it's his way of keeping his hands still so he doesn't look nervous. Either that or it's some kind of witchcraft. Not sure which one. All right, so let's get into it. But this is starting off pretty heated. I like how in the background there's the CCTV footage too. All right, let's go.
As victims by the case that's ongoing. And not all of them are saying that. One of the witnesses says,
we can't go into the case. The case is open and active.
Well, let's just be clear that not all of the witnesses in the case are behaving in the way you describe. And even those that are, it doesn't bar them from being treated as victims by the prosecution by the case.
We have an open criminal investigation. I am absolutely not really sure I'll be found innocent. I know the case better than you. I know it intimately and you don't. I have seen all the criminal files and the evidence against me, and you haven't. I know the truth of what happened, and you don't. And I'm telling you absolutely and utterly, I've never hurt anybody, that the case that's been put against me is completely and utterly fabricated, and I'm never going to be found guilty of anything. And it's very difficult for me to answer your in-depth questions because we're sitting here inside of the territory of Romania. I'm beholden to the Romanian legal system, and I'm not going to incriminate myself because you're trying to prod me. You are wrong, and we're going to have to accept that for now and ask and talk about something else.
Let me read you then what you have said about
Sure.
what you have done.
Sure.
You have said, my job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, get her to fall in love with me to the point where she'd do anything I say, and then get her on webcam so we could become rich together.
I don't think that's what I personally said. I think that's
exactly what
no,
you said.
that's no, I've never said that. That's something that you found on the internet. Doesn't mean I've said it. And again, once again, if any female on the planet has a problem with me, I strongly recommend her to go to the police and try and pursue me for criminal charges. It's actually very interesting that me, one of the most famous people in the world, who's been vilified by the legacy media and places all over the internet, while everyone has attacked me from every single angle, while federal agencies from multiple countries have called over 2,000 women who know me, we stand here with 0 new accusations since my arrest. 0. If you took any famous person, any man of substantial wealth, and you called 2,000 women who knew him, you'd find an ex-girlfriend is upset, somebody who wants money who's upset. They called 2,000 people who knew me and could not find a single woman to make a new complaint. The only complaints.
Wait, 2,000 people? Are you fucking serious? They called 2,000 people who knew me. Like this, he's just making shit up.
They have against me are the initial complaints, which we can prove are lies, and that's where it stands. So I'm not going to sit here and allow you to pretend that I'm some kind of evil predator, when actually I'd argue the fact that people who've been investigated to the level I've been investigated to, if you take the average man on the street and investigate his entire life for 14 months, call everyone who's ever known him, and vilify him in the media, and encourage people to come forward for money, and you try to contact every ex-girlfriend that's ever had.
Would come forward and accuse those people of rape and accuse those
I
people
think that you would have a lot more. I think you would have a lot more flack than I've got. I'm actually such a nice person that I've never had anyone come.
The BBC has spoken to somebody since your arrest who says exactly those things. That with you, it's all manipulation. There's an ulterior.
Is this Sophie?
Everything.
Is this Sophie? Oh, Sophie, the fake name, no face, the story that was invented.
Wanting to please him and wanting him to be happy. That I was just kind of, yeah, okay, do whatever you want.
And what is she accused? Has she accused me of a crime? This imaginary Sophie?
She's making the point that there is.
Has she accused me of a crime?
Emotional or psychological manipulation.
I've asked you a question, and I've allowed you into my house.
I'm asking you a question.
Correct, but you're not the boss here because I've allowed you into my house.
I'm asking you the question.
Correctly, and I'm telling you.
You get to decide the answers.
No, we're equal here. I've allowed you into my house. You don't come here with a position of authority. I'm doing you the favor as legacy media, giving you relevance by speaking to you. And I'm telling you now, this Sophie, which the BBC has invented, which there's no face of, nobody knows who she is.
The BBC did not invent.
Of course not. And because you never invent anything. And she's not filed criminal charges against me. What are we talking about here? What is she saying?
Talking about emotional manipulation in the sex industry for your financial gain.
Absolute garbage. She has not filed criminal. This person, if they exist, has not filed criminal charges against me. I welcome anybody who believes I've harmed them, male or female, any point in the past to file criminal charges against me. I will fight them. I know who I am, and I know what I've done, and I know the truth, and I know that I'll be found innocent of this attack. The reason I'm being attacked is because of my massive influence, not because I've ever hurt anybody. And for you to sit here and say that everybody around you is saying you're innocent, but that doesn't matter because the state will say they're victims, and they're just going to grab everybody you know and call everybody victims, even if they say they're not, and try and put you in jail. You are describing a matrix attack. You're not describing human trafficking.
I'm describing women who are going to court to accuse you of rape and human trafficking.
We will see what women go. We will see what women go to court at the end of this trial. We'll see which women go.
Can I finish, please?
We'll see which women go to court.
I'm describing women who are going to court to accuse you of rape and human
trafficking. Sophie hasn't gone to court. Sophie doesn't exist.
I'm describing women who have spoken to the BBC at length.
Sophie doesn't exist.
And other media organizations about what they say is emotional manipulation and coercion. And I'm quoting back to you your own words where you describe.
They're not my words.
Coercion.
They're words you found. They're words you found on the internet. And Sophie doesn't exist.
On your
so let's move on
website,
to the next subject.
In your voice.
Move on to the next subject.
No, I think I'll stick on this one for a minute. So there's other places in that same website where you say you get girls to fall in love with you and they do it because they love you, because they want to do what you say. Convincing women to take part in some kind of business arrangement doesn't work long term because they're emotional. You've got to get them to fall in love with you.
Once
That's
again,
coercion, that's emotional manipulation, that's abuse.
what you've found are clips from the internet, some text from the internet, and you're going to sit here and tell me that that's the reason I should be.
Your website, your words.
It's not my website.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Check my website. Next.
It's the website you've taken down, and I wonder why those comments have been taken down.
No website's been taken down. My website is the same. It's been the same for a very long time.
The comments on this website, on the original website, have been taken down, and I wonder why.
You are accusing me, I'm guessing, what you're trying to say is you're accusing me, and you're trying to say that I'm guilty of the things I'm accused of, and I'm emotionally manipulating people.
I'm saying that you have said you emotionally manipulated people here for your own financial gain.
No, absolutely not.
And I'm asking you about that.
Absolutely not is the answer. I look forward to the end of this trial. I look forward to clearing my name. I look forward to the BBC and the legacy media having to say not guilty and having to tell the truth. As I've said before, the only other person who's been found, despite absolute rigorous, destructive levels of investigation and prodding into my life, is this imaginary Sophie by the BBC who doesn't exist. And if you were to find any single other man on earth and try and analyze his life forensically to the level they've done mine, you would find genuine damage to people. I don't hurt people.
It's not just
Thousands of women have come out in my defense. Thousands of women have come out in my defense, and you've not mentioned it.
What?
Thousands of women come out in my defense.
Because the problem is when women accuse you of serious crimes.
Okay,
and emotional
but
manipulation.
let's agree that
That's
thousands
the
of women.
problem.
Let's agree that
It's not
thousands.
the problem that some people say you haven't done it. It's a problem that some people say you have.
Thousands of women come out in my defense, and as we stand right now, we have open criminal investigation. People who are involved in the criminal investigation are saying that we're not victims of anything. Andrew's fine, he's never hurt us. You're saying, no, I have the opposite to that. I have the counter to that. I have someone called Sophie with no face, a fake name, who we've invented, and she's not accusing you of anything criminal.
Hold up. Hello. Okay. So yes, these women who have come out and said that they're being involuntarily a part of the investigation, and they're being called victims when they don't want to be called victims. These women have his name tattooed on them. I've gone over their interviews before. It's just kind of sketch. And where has she been recently? And we've seen messages and accusations of people from, Tate's side reaching out to women to pay them to come out on his side, or threatening women from coming out against him. But this man has had accusation after accusation after accusation against him for years, if not decades now, which is why one of the reasons he moved to Romania in the first place is because of all the accusations against him from Britain. Which is funny too, because Britain, it's like nearly impossible to get actually charged with rape. Like, it's like they are notorious for not charging sexual assault crimes. If you look into it, it's actually a really huge problem over there. So the fact he had to move to Romania to escape all of the essay accusations is a little ridiculous. And I think also he moved there for the webcam business, for the illegal activity, the corruption, which is all things he's spoken about. And no, I have not gotten this information from clips. I have watched hours and hours of full-length, long-format content of his. These are his words, his own documentary. Like, he hired a filmmaker, his own filmmaker that he hired, a 5-hour documentary, interview after interview, not shorts, not clips, full-length videos. I can't stand this this every single fucking red pill content creator says, oh, it's out of context. You took me out of context. Oh, it's from a clip. Bitch. Let me tell you, half the time, the context makes this shit 10 times worse. It's like just as bad as the Johnny Depp Amber Heard media coverage. That's what like Andrew Tate and red pill people, like that's how they talk. They talk just as like manipulative and dishonest as media coverage people do. Okay, so let's see.
Percent of the reason I moved to Romania, because in Eastern Europe, none of this garbage flies. If you're gonna go to the police and say he raped people back in 1988, they're gonna say we should have done something about it then. If you go to the police and say he raped me yesterday, say okay. If you got physical evidence, or is there CCTV proof? Where'd it happen? Okay, let's go interview him right now. And if it wasn't really rape, I'd say, oh, we went to the club, we got drunk, she agreed to go back to my house, we started having sex, and then we carried on having sex, and then we had sex, and she didn't say anything wrong, and then she texted me afterwards, and I didn't text back, and now she's saying I raped her. The police would be like, okay, she's an idiot, bye. But no, not in the West. In the West, you can tell them that exact story, you're still fucked. You're fucked in the West. When people say, why did you live in Romania? And I explain my 5 reasons. One of them is the Me Too era. They go, oh, well, you're a rapist. I say, no, I'm not a fucking rapist. But I like the idea of being able to just say to do what I want. I like being free. And if you're a man living in England or Germany or America or any of the Western world right now, you've decided to live in a country where any woman, any ex, any fucking bitch who works at Greg's who you bought a pasty from, at some point in the future can destroy your life. This Me Too era bullshit has not protected women. It's just destroyed the safety of men.
Oh my God, you're so handsome. Why are you even here?
So
if he was an old guy, I would say, oh my God, I'm finally glad to talk to you. All these young creeps keep coming and talk to me. I want a guy who's serious, who's ready to settle down. I know older men will settle down. Sell the dream. Sell.
Hold on. Sorry, these are all like not really loading very well.
Clip I'm about to show you, it's very graphic.
Okay, you know what? Hold on. I might queue these up. Let's see. Is this one short?
So, okay. So at the peak of my webcam business, I got to the point where I would only.
I'm gonna see if that queues up. And
name who we've invented, and she's not accusing you of anything criminal. So I don't see the whole point
You
you're trying to
say
make
you
here.
manipulate women, they say you manipulate women. Why wouldn't people think you do?
I'm not here. Do you think I'm manipulating you?
I'm asking you about the testimony you've given on your website and the testimony
No,
women have given
you've
about
printed
you.
something off that you found on Reddit, and you're going to sit here and say that that makes me a bad person. I'm saying that you should know better as a journalist and do some proper journalism. Let's investigate the fact that
I think
thousands.
you should answer my questions
I am.
properly.
I already have, and we should move on. She's just trying to start an argument.
It's not.
I hear his lawyer.
It's a
I
much
recognize her
bigger
voice.
issue. You've got children's
It's actually just
organisations
his
in the UK. You've got
publicity
rape organisations in the UK.
lawyer.
You've got the police naming you by name as someone who has a harmful influence on children and on women in the UK and elsewhere because of the things you say, because of the way you present gender relations, the way you say men should treat women.
That's very upsetting. And the reason that's very upsetting is because I know that's not true. I'm genuinely a good person. I believe my impact on the world is positive. In fact, if you were to read the comment section of nearly any video I post, especially by the legacy media, 95% of the population agree with me. Most people know that the things I say are positive. Legacy media as a whole has lost all its credibility in the last 3 to 4 years. Nobody believes it. And it's a shame. It's a massive shame that the BBC come here and try and push and purport this idea that I'm a dangerous person.
I'm
anti-drugs. I've never pushed drugs or any. I'm anti-drugs. I'm anti-violence. The UK is facing a knife crime epidemic, and they're going to sit here and say that I'm the most dangerous.
So there is a possible, what I've been looking into, it seems like there's a possible money laundering crime also attached to this investigation. Now that could be for, who knows, maybe illegal money that he's made through the, with the girls, like if they've done more than just the webcam, like escorting and stuff. It could be because he doesn't pay the taxes, or maybe it could be his, what he does for the mafia, with his mafia connections. Maybe that's part of his, that's part of his job. There's also text messages that he sent talking about money laundering, but we don't know if he was lying when that could have just been a cover up. I'll explain that later. I just want to point that out. Oh, the reason I'm pointing that out is because and maybe he could be money laundering for like selling drugs, possibly. Just a possibility.
Dangerous man in the UK.
You have said you're the most dangerous man in the world.
I've said I'm the most dangerous man in the world.
You've also said that a woman's intimate.
He has said he's the most dangerous man in the world.
I thought I'd remind you of the caliber of man I am. I am one of the most dangerous men on this planet.
There you have it, folks.
Parts belong to her male partner. I'm glad you find that funny.
I find it funny that you're sitting here saying that I've said I'm the most dangerous man in the world, and you believe that's. When did I say that?
I'm asking if you believe it.
No, you said you're the most dangerous man in the world. Is that some kind of proof that I'm dangerous? Am I Dr. Evil now? I'm telling you that it's very upsetting that you're going to sit here and that certain organizations in the world are going to try and pretend that I'm the biggest force of evil on earth when I'm genuinely a force for good. I'm genuinely a force.
I think what's more upsetting is that he's pretending like this is some like shocker, like as if it's like so out of pocket for someone to sit down with him and interview him and not ask him these questions, as if he doesn't know that he has incredibly negative media presence. He is seen as a misogynist. He's seen as, he's a public, internationally, looked at sex crime investigation ongoing right now that he just spent 4 months in prison for, not for the crime, but for the arrest during the investigation. For him to sit here and act like she is so out of pocket for these questions, it's like, it's just coming off as super defensive and dishonest. It's just like own up to it, dude. You know that the whole world is calls you a misogynist. 95% of the population certainly does not see you as a positive influence. Yes, he has a huge following, a huge army, a huge bunch of brain dead sheep who follow him. Who will, listen to everything he says, and anything that comes out against him is just the Matrix, and it's all just fake news and blah blah blah. It's all set up and conspiracy. But that is not 95% of the population, I'm telling you. The majority of people see him as a negative, an antagonist, pretty much. So for him to just sit here and deny that and pretend like that's so crazy to think, just admit it, dude. Just admit, yeah, I know I'm seen this way. I understand this is how I'm seen. But instead he's super defensive about it, and he's always like that. And I feel like a lot of the red pill people are like that. They're they fucking gaslight you so much. It's dude, I know you know this. I know you fucking understand this. If you go in Fresh and Fit and somebody will say oh yeah, your videos seem pretty misogynistic, and they act like, what? A misogynist? What? Me? You're calling me as a misogynist? I'm just so mind blown. Dude, stop fucking gaslighting. You know that, you know what you're fucking doing. You know how it's coming off. It's just annoying.
For good. And the reason they're doing this is because of the massive influence I have over the youth. And they don't like that I'm telling the youth to think outside of the matrix and ignore things like the BBC, which come here with loaded questions and false narratives and try and paint innocent people as guilty.
He's actually telling them to fall more into the matrix by having their life basically be controlled by materialism and wealth and getting a bunch of girls and just shallow, not wholesome things. It's just very shallow, meaningless materialism is to chase, which falls directly into the matrix.
You said women's intimate parts belong to their male partner.
I said that if a woman marries a man, she takes his last name and traditionally the man gives her away. I've been pushing traditional religious beliefs, because I'm a religious man, and traditional beliefs in regards to marriage, which everybody accepted 10.
Traditional beliefs in regards to marriage because he's a biblical man. Oh, okay. Because I guess that includes him saying that he's not against OnlyFans workers, but he does believe that if a woman works OnlyFans and she has a boyfriend, she owes her boyfriend or her husband the majority sum of the money she makes because she is his property. So if somebody is paying her for her body, her boyfriend owns her body, so therefore that's his money. I don't know how traditional or biblical that is. I don't remember seeing that, in the traditional 101 Bible books.
10 to 15 years ago.
So
that's not a crazy conspiracy theory. If you're going to sit here and say that me believing a woman should take a man's last name in marriage makes me the most dangerous man in the world, then you're just going to lose even more credibility than the BBC's already lost in the last 4 to 5 years. If that's your point, if that's your narrative you want to push,
say that
good
men
luck.
should be able to sleep with a lot of women outside marriage. That doesn't sound very religious or very
That's not what I said they should be able to. I said a lot of high-value men, a lot of rich men do it. And then we discussed at length on podcasts why rich men do it. And we also discussed why women decide to be unfaithful. It's not a gendered argument. We discussed unfaithfulness as a whole. What are the reasons and motivations for men, and what are the reasons and motivations for women? Because you have no time to actually, watch my content, because you have no time to actually watch my content at length, and understand what I'm saying.
Well,
You
I
just come
have.
here with a small snippet, which we provided to you on a
Saying it
piece of
3
paper.
times doesn't make it true.
No, completely. You don't have a clue what I say or what I talk about. You never watch my content. You have small pieces of paper, small clips on a piece of paper, and you're trying to pretend I've said evil things. And
like you say a lot of stuff about women like that they're your property.
That's not what I said. I was talking about an OnlyFans company when that question was asked. But I said that if a woman is going out with a man, she belongs to that man. That's his woman. So she wants to do OnlyFans. She owes him some money because she's his. Yes, that's what I said.
Think
well, that's crazy.
You think if a man, so you think that a man going out with a girl that's just your property? There can't be an equal relationship?
That one was nuts.
Okay,
that one
cool.
was nuts.
I'm
This is where it goes crazy.
Cool.
No,
So
but no, that one you can. If I understood what you said, that if a guy and a girl is dating and a girl does OnlyFans, she owes him a cut.
No, 100%.
Girl.
100%.
She is his girl.
What was that have to do anything?
Because she's his.
Yeah, so that's
So that is you saying that women are your property.
This is the part where you're trying to convince Nazis not to kill Jews.
Yeah.
It's not a sane thing he's saying.
Yeah.
And you're not going to talk reason to him. You're trying to.
every question so far.
Let me ask another question.
Sure. Small pieces of paper, small clips on a piece of paper, and you're trying to pretend I've said evil things. And then you're going to say I'm the most dangerous man in the world, which is truly laughable.
You said that, not me.
Okay. Do you believe I'm the most dangerous man in the world, Lucy?
I'm not answering your questions.
Well, then we need to change the dynamic of this interview because, and I'll make this clear, I allowed you into my home. I'm doing you a favor, giving you the first interview I'm giving to the public. You don't come here with a position of authority. You're not the police. I don't respect the BBC. I don't know you. You do not come here with a position of authority over me. We are equals. We are people. We're citizens of the world, and we sit here as equals. And I see you as my equal. And if you ask me questions, I can ask you questions back. For you to come here and sit down and pretend you're the Gestapo and that you don't have to answer my questions is disingenuous because I don't owe you anything.
Asking questions and you answer.
But I don't owe. No.
However you want.
This is a conversation.
He's definitely getting paid for this. 100%. And they both know it.
And I don't owe you any degree of authority over me. So let's make that clear. And that doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or from the BBC or the CNN. I'm here to answer your questions and be honest with you and do you a favor.
Great.
And I'm doing you a favor. But you come here with loaded questions. You're trying to paint a narrative of me, which is negative.
I'm asking you
And
about
that's
things
fine.
you've said that people are concerned about.
She's
And that's
literally
fine.
just
But you're not going to sit
asking
here and say you
questions.
don't answer my questions because you're not above me.
Maybe if he would answer the questions.
Absolutely.
Well, it would help if you answered the question.
I've answered every question so far.
Let me ask another question.
Sure.
You have said that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner, and if she goes on OnlyFans, he is entitled to a cut of her income.
You are extremely, it's very confusing to me why you're going to sit here, take long format podcast sites.
Oh my God.
4 hours long. In context where I've sat with OnlyFans girls, 10 or 15 OnlyFans girls, where we've been joking back and forth, ignore every comment and satirical comment and sarcastic comment that the females have made, and then come along and say, you said this and that, and you're the most evil.
You say a lot of stuff about women like that they're your property.
That's not what I said. I was talking about an OnlyFans company when that question was asked. But I said that if a woman is going out with a man, she belongs to that man. That's his woman. So she wants to do OnlyFans. She owes him some money because she's his. Yes, that's what I said.
Well, that's crazy.
You think if a man, so you think that a man going out with a girl that's just your property? There can't be an equal relationship?
That one was nuts. That one was nuts.
This is where it goes crazy.
No, but no, that one you can. If I understood what you said, that if a guy and a girl is dating and a girl does OnlyFans, she owes him a cut.
No, 100%.
Girl.
100%.
She is his girl.
What was that have to do anything?
Because she's his.
Yeah, so that's
so that is you saying that women are your property.
This is the part where you're trying to convince Nazis not to kill Jews.
Yeah.
Research it all and then say, I don't understand what I'm talking about, but I've got this piece of paper. Come along and say, you said this and that, and you're the most evil man in the world. I don't know if you understand what sarcasm is. I don't know if you understand what sarcasm is. I don't know if you understand what context is. I don't know if you understand what satirical content.
So you're saying it's sarcastic?
I'm saying it was a very interesting talk show. And for you to sit here and say that that is my true core beliefs and that makes me a bad person is disingenuous.
Is it?
Of course not.
Was it sarcasm?
Absolutely. You should watch the show.
You were being sarcastic when you said, let me clarify.
You should watch the show.
Let me clarify for the audience. You were being sarcastic when you said a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner.
No.
You didn't believe that.
No, it's not that. It's that you haven't watched the show at length, and you should have, because the woman was saying, my man's car belongs to me because he's my man. And she was on OnlyFans. And then 20 minutes later, when she said she was on OnlyFans, I said, well, you're selling your body, that belongs to him because he's your man. And she laughed, and she said, yeah, that's probably true. If you watch the show, it will make sense. For you to come here with doing no research at all, and then say, I don't understand what I'm talking about, but I've got this piece of paper with a few things printed off. That's why you're saying the silly things you're saying. You should watch the show, do some research.
Do you believe it?
I've already answered the question.
Not really.
Of course I have. Can we move on? I've answered the question.
Do you believe that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner?
Of course not. I've just answered the question.
We've done that 3 times.
And does this woman believe that her man's car belongs to her? It's not a gendered argument. I really think that it's genuinely sad that when the BBC has a chance to finally interview me at the end of all this Matrix attack, that they don't come here with any kind of genuine openness to try and understand my influence over the world, or the things I push, or what I'm trying to teach the world, or why I'm a good influence on the world, because I am a massively good influence. Instead, they come here with pieces of paper with printed out excerpts from 5-year-old podcasts, taken out of context, to attempt the same Matrix attack on me, which has been attempted endlessly. Every single person in Legacy Media has already tried this, and it doesn't work. I really encourage you. I encourage you to read the comment section on YouTube when this goes on YouTube, and you will see that nobody believes a word you're saying.
The reason we're asking you about these comments is because
about OnlyFans. My sister has an OnlyFans. Okay.
What kind of please do not ask me ridiculous questions on a stream.
I got you. Sorry about that. Fine. Okay,
this is the original video.
Okay, someone asked about OnlyFans. My sister has an OnlyFans. What do you think about OnlyFans?
I'm a capitalist, and I believe if there's a product that people will buy, then someone should sell it. I have no problems intrinsically with females doing OnlyFans. Like, if men are stupid enough to buy this shit, then women should certainly sell it and make a bunch of money. More power to them. I'm a feminist. I believe in empowering women. Make as much money as you can. Yeah, sure. Do OnlyFans. Like my bitch, I wouldn't even mind my girl doing OnlyFans as long as I kept all the money. I wouldn't give a shit. If I had a girl who said I want to do OnlyFans, I'm like, cool, go for it. Let me know how much money we make.
You're keeping all of it though?
Fuck yes. She's mine.
100%. You're keeping all profits.
I mean, I might let her buy some shoes or something. But all in all, I mean, it goes into my bank, and I might gift her something depending if she's been good that month. But she's my property, so she's selling my property. Like if we're gonna rent out my house, then I get the money, right? You're my chick, you're my property.
So is he probably kidding here a
pictures
little
of my
bit?
property? Cool. Where's my money? How much money did we make? My money. Give me my money.
Maybe she should get.
That
maybe
doesn't mean he
50-50.
doesn't believe it.
What? Why? What's wrong with you?
Well,
on what should she get 50% of my money? Why would I give half my money to her? Mine.
Yeah.
Why would I give her half of my money?
Yeah. No, I understand.
Bro, you've been drinking too much of that soy shit, bro.
You're right. I gotta start drinking this. I do.
You gotta start drinking some fucking water, and you'll know. He's fucking has my money. Selling my product. Jesus Christ. I'm mad already, and she didn't even suggest it. You're out here talking shit to all these females. They're gonna watch this crap and start believing they should get half. You should apologize to the world. All the brothers out here, all the men out here, when their girl says you want to do OnlyFans, he needs to turn around and say, have you seen the stream? You have to give me all the money. But no, you've ruined it now. You're going to put ideas in their fucking heads.
All right, so how to make up for it?
You need to apologize and say that you've seen the error of your ways and that any woman who does OnlyFans who has a boyfriend should give him 100% of the money.
I have to say that?
Yes, you do. Be a misogynist. Go. Come on, don't be a pussy. What, you're scared of a backlash? You're scared of getting canceled. You little baby.
No.
Oh, don't get canceled on the internet. Ooh, they're gonna cancel. They're gonna cancel me. Watch me give a fuck. Come on, don't be a bitch. Say it.
All right. I hereby want to go back to what I said, and I want to rebuttal it, and I want to say that I should have not get my 2 cents in this argument and stay out of it, and that the thing is that I believe that if something is yours, you should be getting all profits of it.
That was weak, but I'll let it slide.
Thank you.
It was weak though. But I want all the people, all the feminists watching who want to go cancel people, go cancel this guy because I can tell he gives a shit. Don't try and cancel me.
What?
I don't give a fuck.
What the fuck?
I don't care. Cancel me. I do not care. I don't care. I exist outside of the matrix. No one can damage me. Doesn't matter. I don't even have a fucking account. What are you gonna do? Ban me? I don't even have an account.
I do.
Ban this guy.
No.
He's a misogynist.
What the?
He is a misogynist.
What are you?
I can't believe what you just said.
What are you doing?
Misogynistic. Feminists, it's people like him that are keeping women back. That's the reason you don't have high-paying jobs.
Whoa! Andrew!
It's 100% this guy. I can't believe you're saying these things.
What the
fuck? Welcome to the world of no Discord account. You'll be like me with a bunch of unknown numbers for an account you just signed up for.
Yeah, except this is my income. You have income in thousands of other things.
That's what you have for being a brokey, bro. That's how the world works. It's hard out here for brokies. It's hard out here. Welcome to the streets.
Whatever. What is that in your hand?
Matches.
Why don't
matches work?
Why don't you just have
Do you know how
lighter?
matches work?
Why don't you just have
Because I'm an old man. I'm old-fashioned. That's why I asked if you know they work. I'm not just fucking new tech.
Yeah.
There's that.
Like you say a lot of stuff about women like that they're your property.
That's not what I said. I was talking about an OnlyFans company when that question was asked. But I said that if a woman is going out with a man, she belongs to that man. That's his woman. So if she wants to do OnlyFans, she owes him some money because she's his. Yes, that's what I said.
Think that's crazy. You think if a man, so you think that a man going out with a girl that's just your property? There can't be an equal relationship?
That one was nuts.
Okay,
that one was nuts.
This is where he goes crazy.
No, but no, that one you can. If I understood what you said, that if a guy and a girl is dating and a girl does OnlyFans, she owes him a cut.
No, 100%.
Girl,
100%.
She is his girl.
But what's that have to do with anything?
Because she's his.
Yeah, so that's what.
So that is you saying that women are your property.
This is the part where you're trying to convince Nazis not to produce.
Yeah.
It's.
I really encourage you. I encourage you to read the comment section on YouTube when this goes on YouTube, and you will see that nobody believes a word you're saying.
The
This is
reason we're
garbage.
asking you about these comments is because we've got the chief executive of Rape Crisis naming you individually as spreading a dangerous ideology of misogynistic.
Evidence for what? Which part? Name anything. I'll bring up any evidence you need against Andrew Tate. Name anything, and I got it. I got all the receipts. Try me.
Rape culture.
Absolute.
It's the comments you make that are leading people to say things like
Absolute
this.
garbage.
National organizations who are saying that, blaming you for increasing levels of misogyny. Schools that are saying they are having increased incidents of girls being attacked, of female teachers being harassed.
If that was
by
true,
pupils,
if that,
because of you and your teaching.
well,
and
that's absolute garbage. I have never, ever encouraged a student to attack a teacher, male or female, ever. I preach hard work, discipline. I'm an athlete. I preach anti-drug. I preach religion. I preach no alcohol. I preach no knife crime. Every single problem with modern society, I'm against. I'm teaching young men to be disciplined, to
He's
be
a
diligent,
giant sword
to
in
listen,
his house.
to train, to work hard, to be exactly like me, with no criminal record, never
Not
even
saying
yet
that.
charged in this 14-month Matrix investigation. And I'm saying that if men grew up like me, which are hardworking,
Wait, hold up.
diligent,
What did you
emotional
just say?
control, and no knife crime. Every single problem with modern society, I'm against. I'm teaching young men to be disciplined, to be diligent, to listen, to train, to work hard, to be exactly like me, with no criminal record, never even yet charged in this 14-month Matrix investigation.
Okay.
And I'm saying that if men grew up like me, which are hardworking and diligent and emotional control and stoic, we're gonna have a better society, not a worse society. To sit here and say that schools in England, which is a failing nation, which has knife crime going through the roof, violence going through the roof, men's mental health going through the roof, and they're going to all blame me because I appeared on the internet 1 year ago, is disingenuous. It's disingenuous. And also,
financial success
correct.
with a Bugatti and a cigar, but it comes with a side order of misogyny.
How does having a Bugatti and a cigar come with misogyny?
Because it's all mixed together in what you teach. You teach that a woman, if a woman comes home and accuses you of cheating, you should hit her with a machete, shove her off.
Is that what I teach?
That's what you say.
No, if you actually watch the clip, it will be about the woman attacking me with a machete. As usual, you've not watched the video, taken it out of context, flipped it, and attempted to attack me with a small excerpt. Let me tell you something, Lucy. I'm sure you're a very nice person. I'm sure you're a fantastic person. But if I were to take everything you've ever said online and just take small excerpts out of context, I could make you look like a misogynist. I guarantee it. In fact, I might actually do that. And then you're going to sit here and say, oh shit, I'm a misogynist because my clips have been taken out of context. If you refuse to watch anything at length and understand it, then that's what's going to happen.
The National Police Chiefs League for Violence Against Women, the NSPCC, Rape Crisis, Safer Schools, they are all naming you as being behind an epidemic of misogyny, even amongst primary school children.
The idea that I made primary school children misogynistic because I own a nice car. Is that your argument?
It's the misogyny that comes along with it.
Oh, owning a nice car is misogynist.
No, it's the misogyny that comes along with it.
How does misogyny come along with owning a nice car?
Because you have an image of financial
I'm glad you're answering my questions now. We finally got the answer.
You have an image of financial success.
Answering my questions, actually should.
Excuse me. You have an image of financial success, but it comes along with attitudes towards women that are really problematic.
My attitudes towards women is that women should be protected and provided for, and I've said that at length. In fact, I've said that over 50 times online. You never mention it. I say that my girlfriend doesn't have to work unless she wants to. I take care of her. I die to protect a woman. I've talked about how I've stood up and faced a knife to protect a woman.
And in return, you want authority over her in the way you have over a child or a dog.
Absolutely not. I've said that women should be protected and provided for. And
in return, you want authority over her, because if you have responsibility for someone like a child or a dog, you say, you have authority over them.
If you want to go down this argument, we'll go down this nuanced argument. I said that if I have responsibility for her safety, I should have a degree of authority over her safety. Meaning, and let me explain my point. If I'm the one who has to fight and die to protect her, I'm the one who decides how we walk home. I'm the one who decides the route we take. Because it's unfair for her to say, I want to walk through the most dangerous neighborhood in the world, but you have to face the knives. That's what I've said. And then you're going to sit here and pretend that I'm trying to treat women like dogs, which is garbage. Every single man in the world who loves this woman understands that he has to protect her. And every single woman in the world likes the idea of a man who would protect her. If you were to say to most women home right now, do you want your husband to protect you in a violent attack? They'd say, yeah, of course. Nothing I've said is misogynistic.
If you said to most women, would you want to lose authority in the relationship, to not be treated as a free and legal equal?
I didn't say that. I said I need to have authority over the route we walk home.
When you compare with...
He also says a lot of, like, in the evidence, it seems there's a lot of and from himself saying, and Tristan saying, you know, she can't go out without me. She can't go out alone. It's just a very controlling over these women. Let's see the full machete video in context. Okay, and this is from Solomon Ahmed, who is a Tate supporter. But I think Andrew was telling the truth here. I think he was technically, the machete video is him defending himself against a woman with a machete, which is just ridiculous. But
slap, grab, choke, shut up, bitch, sex. A lot of people ask me, Andrew, why do you have a machete next to your bed? And my answer is simple. Why wouldn't I have a machete next to your bed? Why don't you have a machete next to your bed? Like, what if someone gets in the house, gets fresh? Some little pussy ass dude once said to me, yeah, but if it's next to your bed, what if you like upset a girl and she catches you cheating and gets a machete? Like, imagine a girl pick this up. If I pick this up, you ain't fucking with me. I'd have my left hand, I'd still like jab, I'd fucking swing low, take her fucking knee out. You ain't gonna see it coming. What would a woman do? Yeah, slap the machete, slap her in the face. One hand, machete and a backhand. I perfected this in pimp school. When I got my PhD, we had to practice if a girl comes at you, oh, you cheated, you cheated. It's bang out the machete, boom in her face. You grip her up by the neck. What's up, bitch? And her panties get wet. Machete's on the floor, the panties are all wet. You go, fuck her. That's how it goes. Slap, slap, grab, choke, shut up, bitch, sex.
Everybody knows this clip. Again, it either shows shoddy journalism or nefarious reasons for not showing it. And actually on Twitter already, there's a Twitter handle called Sense who's demonstrated or shown the entire clip where it's literally, he's explaining that when a woman attacks me, this is what would happen. So again, when
I'm sorry, was that supposed to... Is this supposed to help his case? I swear to you, the context half the time makes the shit worse. If a woman attacks me, if a woman picks up a machete and she goes, this is what would happen. What he said, grab the machete, smack her across the face, grab her by the throat, shut up, bitch. Her panties get wet, and you fuck her. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Now that it's in context, that makes so much more sense. And like, yeah, no, that's totally cool. Like, nothing wrong with that at all. That's, totally chill. So, like, yeah. Duh. Wow, the context makes it like so much better. This context right here.
You cheated. It's bang out the machete, boom in her face. You grip her up by the neck. Shut up, bitch! And her panties get wet. Machete's on the floor, the panties are all wet. You go, fuck her. That's how it goes. Slap, slap, grab, choke, shut up, bitch, sex.
Everybody knows this clip. Again,
see it coming. What would a woman do? Yeah, slap the machete, slap her in the face. One hand, machete and a backhand. I perfected this in pimp school. When I got my PhD, we had to practice if a girl comes at you. You cheated, you cheated. It's bang out the machete, boom in her face. You grip her up by the neck. Shut up, bitch! And her panties get wet. Machete's on the floor, the panties are all wet. You go, fuck her. That's how it goes. Slap, slap, grab, choke, shut up, bitch, sex.
Everybody knows this clip. Again, it either shows shoddy journalism or nefarious.
Wait, I want to see how he tries to defend this.
On Twitter already, there's a Twitter handle called Sense who's demonstrated has shown the entire clip where it's literally he's explaining that when a woman attacks me, this is what would happen. So again, when you take things out of context, you can make anyone look bad. But again, another horrendous example of what BBC did, and the Vice did the exact same thing.
I think it looks bad either way. I don't know. That's just me. But saying that. God. Okay. It's cool. Oh, whoops. Where'd my screen go? Here we go. Yeah, if a woman attacks me, I just grab that shit, smack her, choke her. She gets wet, and then I fuck her. So this is like one of the dangerous things, right? This promotion that women get turned on by violence. Consensual. If there's consensual shit, sure. But they're promoting it in a way where it's like, just do it, because the consensual shit makes you like a beta pussy, and she won't be attracted to that. You just have to come out front and just do it to her, put her in her place, and she'll get wet and you can fuck her. That's the dangerous shit. That's the dangerous mindset that they're pushing. Especially to young, impressionable, angry, hormonal, lots of times substance addicted teenage boys and young men.
Women and the authority over women that you believe you should have to having authority over a child or a dog, it's not the same, because a woman is a free legal adult.
Correct.
You're equal.
Free legal adult, my equal. But if I had a girlfriend and we were walking home late at night, and I said, let's not walk down that area. It's a bad area. I have to protect you if anything happens. I want to take the long way. And she said, no, I will. I have to walk this way, even though it's the most dangerous route. I must.
Then what?
Then I would say, you're welcome to. You could do it. You're a free legal equal. But I'm not going to walk with you and protect you. I think that I should be able to decide the route, because I have an obligation. And my obligation as a man is to protect and provide for females. Everything I'm talking about is traditional gender roles, which 10 years ago, less than 10 years ago,
that's
would
fair.
not be considered outlandish,
fair.
would not be considered crazy, would not be considered dangerous or misogynistic. The world has changed, and a lot of people haven't changed with the world. Please understand, there's a lot of women at home watching this right now, like the idea of a man sticking up for them, protecting them, and providing for them. And just because the world has gone crazy and the legacy media has gone crazy, most people at home are still relatively sane. And these are the people who are going to write on the comments that Andrew was saying anything that's outlandish. It's the whole world believes these things. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I'm having a nice conversation with Lucy. I'm enjoying it. So it's no problem. It's been fun so far. It's fine.
The leg twitching.
We good?
Yes.
Tell me when.
Do you want to clap again?
Yes, no. We didn't stop, no.
I can do the clap. Now we good?
No.
Thank you. If a man broke into your house, wouldn't you want your husband to protect you?
There's a difference between conservative values and emotional control, coercive control.
We're
lack
talking
of
about
consent.
protection now, and I'm saying if someone broke into your house, would you want your husband to protect you?
Okay, look,
It's
this
not about
argument is
conservative
fucking retarded too. The fact that, oh, women have to be submissive, men have total authority of the relationship, because if someone breaks into your house, if someone tries to attack you, he's going to protect you because he's bigger and stronger and has more capabilities to protect you. So therefore, she has to be completely submissive and he has full authority and control over her. I'm sorry. How often, if ever, is a man going to risk his life for his wife or his girlfriend? Maybe once. I mean, depending on where you live, it might be a little higher of a possibility, but most people, like that doesn't happen ever in their life. Most people have never had an armed robbery happen. So this red pill argument of, oh, men always have to do their role of protecting you in case 3 armed, huge, like 200-pound MMA fighters come in and attack us. Like, so you have to do your role too. Yes, men and women have roles, but to say that, like, I'm sorry, it's just like we're in modern times, okay? So and women have autonomy. They have, it's not an all, what is it? It's not a dictatorship in relationships just because men have more capabilities to protect you in a time of danger, which is might never even he might never even have to do. So saying that like a woman has to be submissive every day of her life. Oh, like I've heard this argument. Women shouldn't get to choose when to have sex. So like if her husband wants to have sex with her, why does she get to say yes or no when he doesn't get to say yes or no when an armed, intruder breaks into their house? It's like, so she has to actually like submit and, play that role every single day when he might never have to play that role, even though like that's his responsibility in the marriage. That might never actually happen. Whereas the sex and the submissive shit actually happens every single day. So it's not a comparison.
Values or protection, it's what you're demanding in return for that.
Well, I'll give you this. I don't know who your husband is. I don't know if he would stand up to protect you or die for you, but I'll give you this.
You know what's sad? There are a lot of traditional women who support Tate. Yes, and you know what I would say to that? Those are the people who take his shit out of context. The Tate supporters are the people who watch the shorts, the clips, who don't watch the full long format content. They're the ones who take everything out of context and don't see the context that is the full backstory that really shows his true character, which is not an overall force good. He hides behind this whole male self-improvement because if he didn't, he would have no legs to stand on. The only reason he gets by and, people are able to defend him is because of this male self-improvement. Oh, get up, go to the gym, get a job. Okay, that's advice that fucking 2-year-olds know. Yeah, don't be a lazy piece of shit. Get out of your bed, work out, get a job, be productive. Wow. If you really needed Andrew Tate to tell you that, honestly, you're a lost cause, in my opinion.
If someone broke into this house right now and was a homicidal maniac, I would expect me and the other men in this room to stand up and face them while you and the other women in this room could protect yourselves. I would actually believe the men should go and engage the attacker. I believe that. And even though I don't know you and you've come into my house with a hostile agenda.
Also, let me point out this. We have things called guns now. So I'm not saying that, women should go jump into every fight and blah, 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 blah. But a woman can protect herself with a gun as well. So I was really hoping he fades into obscurity after his arrest. Yeah, I mean, I've seen less of him, but I'm curious how his trial. It seems like actually they've been purposely trying to keep the spotlight off of him. Because if you notice, before he got arrested, he was in the media, like all over TikTok, all over YouTube, everywhere, advertisements, like interviews and shit. Obviously, he can do an interview in jail, but his content was being pushed. But since his arrest, I think they've been trying to keep the spotlight off of him because of how much incriminating video evidence is out there against him. So he's been trying to steer people away from seeing that, to have the public opinion on his side so people don't go looking into his shit, because there is just so much just an overwhelming amount of self-incriminating video evidence. His Twitter, so cringe. My stupid mouse. Okay. Sorry about that. I clicked the back button. My thumb always clicks the little side back button. All right, let's go back to the video. Here we go. Wow, what a hero. Oh my God, I didn't add the video.
And have caused major national organizations, including the police, to worry about you by name. That's what I'm asking you.
It's not what I say.
It's not about whether you protect your partner or not. It's about what you have said that has caused such concern in the UK. And I want to put it to you that you don't really care about.
He is the protagonist in his own movie. His life is a movie, and he's the main character. He's a protagonist.
Okay, so first thing,
actually, he's a protagonist in everybody's life.
And I genuinely believe I'm acting under the instruction of God to do good things. I want to make the world a better place. I genuinely believe my legacy is a complete bullshit. And I believe that eventually, when the legacy media catches up, they're going to understand I'm a good, positive influence. I'm not interested in damaging the world for my.
So basically, being a pimp, running a pimp and host degree program, teaching men how to become pimps, and starting a business that has up to 75 women selling their bodies online, where he's not paying taxes, where he's stealing money from them, which is also in the evidence in the newly released Romanian documents. Also, Tate has admitted this by his own mouth himself. That, and also not only that, but he would trick and lie to other men like this. I'm gonna bring up a video. Is it this? Hold on. Sorry. Where is it? Video file. Oh, share screen. Here it is. Got it. No, it was. Oops. So, according to the Romanian evidence that just, or the documents that came out, it was 50-50, and then another 50% gets taken out. So she actually only gets 25%. And he would get 75% basically. And what was the other thing I was gonna say? I forgot. Oh shit. He did. That was his PhD program, his pimp and host degree. Oh, yeah. Also, they were allegedly forced to work like 10, 12 hours a day. Apparently, like, some of the girls were working so much, they would, like, start crying on stream, and he would punish them. Or the girls, his, like, the other women who are under investigation would punish these girls. This is one of the allegations. So they were overworked. He was taking the majority of their pay, not allowed to leave. These are the accusations. Sorry, I was talking. Jesus. It's fucking ridiculous. You were a scammer, dude. Wow, what a fucking genius. You tricked horny, lonely, rich ass men. Okay, so let's see this one. Here we go. It's only 2 minutes. I love this girl. By the way, she's a great content creator. I really I enjoy her videos a lot. But yeah, so I speculated about the minors thing very early on in this case because I would regularly check up on the Romanian DCOT website, which is basically the press release for the Romanian law enforcement. And although they wouldn't tell you the names of the case, it was pretty easy to tell which case they were talking about. Because first of all, it would list the exact charges, which were rape, criminal organization, and sex trafficking, obviously. So it would look something like this. And see it says lover boy method. And then it would say brothers. It would also say Bucharest. I think that's where he lived. So it was just easy to put it together. It would be two other females under investigation, which totally match his case. Criminal organization. And so in one of these press releases, it said that there was a minor involved. We also have the evidence from the text messages that were released. In one of the messages, the American girl who was only there for a week, whose parents ended up calling the embassy, which kind of started all this. It was the first domino effect. She had messages that were evidence in this investigation saying that she met a girl here who's been here for 5 years, and she was I think 17 when she first 16, 17 when she first got there. So that could be who he's referring to here. She's been there for 5 years, and she didn't understand, she did not like the position she was in, but she didn't understand that it was actually human trafficking, which I think is reasonable, because when we think of human trafficking, we think of that movie Taken, where you're literally strapped down to a bed and being sold at an auction by men who are having sex with you and stuff. So I understand why a 16-year-old girl who has been essentially groomed for 5 years would not understand the ins and outs of what actually is human trafficking, considering that the general population doesn't even understand it fully. There was also an accusation that Andrew Tate had apparently reached out. There were DMs sent to a politician, a big politician in Romania. His daughter, his 16-year-old daughter, Andrew Tate was allegedly apparently trying to recruit a Romanian politician's 16-year-old daughter for his webcam business. That's all alleged. Well, I know I would translate to English. Yeah, see, Bucharest. Investigating organized crime and terrorism. Look. Okay, within the municipality of Bucharest, at the homes of persons suspected of committing the offense of setting up a criminal group organized organization trafficking in minors, human trafficking, and pimping, using the lover boy method for the purpose of sexual exploitation. Several injured persons, which are victims, they say injured persons, that's how it gets translated to from Romanian to English. It always comes out as injured persons. Some of them minors. The injured persons were created accounts on profile websites in order to attract, so basically social media websites to attract potential customers. Apartments were rented in the central area so that the girls could use. And this is also totally fits along because the two women, Beatrice and I'm forgetting her name right now, but the other woman who came out and said they were trying to defend Andrew and Tristan and said they lived in an apartment and nearby, and they were like family. They had like Tate's girl tattooed on both of them. Branding, which is very common in for pimps and sex trafficking and just, being controlling of women, abusive situations. So yeah, there were different apartments. And so this all totally fits. Eight domicile, I can't spell or read. 8 houses, 8 properties were searched, which also fits along because people, Tate's, coworkers and peers are all saying, or a lot of them are coming out saying their residents have been raided and searched as a part of this investigation. Following the searches carried out earlier today at one of the searched addresses, technical equipment and accessories for the provision of video chat activities were discovered. Also, the amount of 6,600 LEI and 10,050 euros, 16 mobile phones, 2 hard drives, a tablet, 2 laptops, 2 joint cigarettes containing a green dry vegetable substance, a powdery white substance, a banknote, and a bank card containing traces of this substance were identified and raised for further investigation. 6 grinders of shredding plant substance, a digital scale, a device siphon intended for the release of nitrous oxide, and a related cartridge, a badge with the documents of a non-governmental organization aimed at combating drug trafficking, and various documents. At the headquarters of the Directorate of Investigating Organized Crime and Terrorism, central structure, 3 persons were led for the hearing. So, like, technically this could not be them, but I mean, everything matches. Some of the injured persons went together with the members of the organized criminal group outside of the country to countries in Europe, Switzerland, Germany, France, Great Britain, also the United Arab Emirates, where they practice prostitution for the benefit of investigated persons. I mean, Tate lives in Dubai, he owns properties in Dubai. He's going back and forth in Dubai. Everybody knows that Dubai has a huge prostitution market. So I don't know. I would bet that this is part of the Tate investigation. This might not be their residence, but somebody in connection to the Tates. That would be my guess. This is the video again. Great video footage. Are they balloons? Okay. There was also this one. Combating organized crime, trafficking in persons, fight against human trafficking. Then again, we have to remember there's a lot of human trafficking that goes on. 7 defendants recruited. Oh. In this case, it was noted that starting in 2020, the 7 defendants recruited. So I think that means the recruited women. I think there were seven victims basically that they said in the case, or like recruits. Using the Loverboy method, 6 injured persons, one of them a minor. Oh. The 7 defendants recruited using the Loverboy method, 6 injured persons, one of them a minor, and determined them to practice prostitution in Romania and abroad. For this purpose, websites promoting sexual services were used, the sums of money obtained from this activity being appropriated by the defendants. 14 mobile phones, 2 computing units, various documents. At the same time, the precautionary seizure measure was imposed on 3 cars with a cumulative value of 70,000 euros, as well as on a building. "19 people were taken to the DCOT headquarters." So maybe this is something separate. But it sounds very similar. It started in 2020. The Loverboy method. There's 6 injured persons. One of them's a minor. It's online website stuff. Going abroad. There's the cars. It's very similar. Very interesting. There's also this one. So these were things I picked out that seem to be this case. They don't say the name. Oh my god. Have I not been showing this the whole time? Fuck. Oh my god. Sorry. Wow, I'm so annoyed that I've not been showing this the whole time. Wow. Okay. Okay, so here. Alright, so shit. So I'll go back to the last one I was just reading about. Here's this. This is what I was just reading with the cars and blah, blah, blah. But the one before this, I think, is 100%. I mean, I can't be 100%, but it definitely seems like it would have to be them. Especially because it's December 1st, 2023. I mean, I'm sorry, January 12th, 2023, right? Yeah, which would be shortly after they were arrested. And therefore, because December 1st, 2023 hasn't happened yet. So it's January 12th, 2023. This would have occurred shortly after the Tates were arrested, while like they are raiding his the people close to them while they're raiding all these people's houses. So that makes sense that eight houses or 8 properties were searched. And again, using the Loverboy method, it was noted starting in 2019, criminal group organized for the purpose of committing the offense of trafficking in minors, trafficking in persons, and pimping was set up with the municipality in Bucharest. Criminal group trafficking in minors, human trafficking, and pimping. Misleading. In order to achieve the purpose of the group, its members recruited by misleading using Loverboy method for sexual exploitation. Several injured persons, some of them minors. The injured persons were created accounts on the profile website, social media. So it's the translation from Romania to English. That's why it's broken. On websites in order to attract potential customers. Apartments were rented. So this is the one that I think really like fits the Tates to a T. So I really think this press release is referring to the Tates. Again, this is like an assumption, but I mean, it's really to a T, like fits them, and it's the right timing and everything. The United Arab Emirates. So yeah, I think this is them. So yeah, this is just I'm just showing you the press releases that I go through and that say, because basically where I got to that was he was saying that Vivian, who was 21, he had been in a relationship with her for 5 years, which would make her 16, 17 when he first got with her. And they're saying that there's minors also in the new evidence. So let's get back to the interview. Sorry, just went off on a whole, got derailed a little bit. Okay. How do I go? Share this tab. Okay.
Or I could make rap music and encourage everyone to stab each other like all the drill artists do.
Or you could make controversial statements online that attract a lot of followers who you then direct to your website. Where they pay.
I could make jokes. Sure.
Like
I mean, I could make jokes online. Who doesn't? I mean, I could make a joke online.
Are you saying that all the controversial things you've said are jokes?
No, I'm saying that these organizations and the BBC who are going to sit here and pretend that I am the face of damaging the youth is absolutely garbage. It's completely disingenuous. And the reason.
I'm sorry, we have agreed to do an interview where you are going to ask questions that are going to give us the opportunity to clarify some things. These are very loaded questions. And so far, I'm sorry, I have arranged this and I'm talking right now. So these are very loaded questions, and this is not what we discussed, and this is not the conversation that we agreed to.
We were very clear that the questions
you're sitting there and just accusing. We're not here to face new allegations. This has all been discussed. Answers have been provided. So if we could please move on from this side of the interview, I would appreciate it.
I would like to hear what Andrew has got to say about the fact that when you make controversial statements, it attracts people to follow you, and then you direct them to your website where they pay you a monthly fee to learn how to be like you. And so the more controversial statements you make, the more money you get.
The fact that that's the path you've outlined to one, my online university, and two, my...
Okay, hold on. I have to address this. Don't know how this live popped up on my feed, but hey, I'm here. Well, hey. Hey, I just want to hear your take on this. Isn't every courtship process the lover boy method? Okay. The Loverboy method here. Let's bring up a definition just to be precise, but when you're in a courtship, you are courting somebody, so you're trying to attract somebody to be your intimate romantic partner, right? You're attracting them, you're enticing them, let's say. You're trying to build a romantic, establish a future romantic relationship. The lover boy method is specifically manipulation. It is specifically a method that uses courting, you could say, in a manipulative sense. So it's using courting like under false pretenses. The lover boy method is like specifically manipulation. It's purpose, like you're manipulating somebody by falsely courting them, if that makes sense. But you're intentionally like trying to convince somebody that you love them and you're going to provide for them and start a family with them and start a relationship with them, build a relationship with them, build a life with them, all while knowing that you're not actually going to do those things. It's just a lie in order to manipulate somebody to, do XYZ, whether it's just to get in bed with them, whether it's to sex traffic them, whether it's to get them to work for your OnlyFans business that you run. That's the difference between courtship and the lover boy method.
Presence on the internet. The fact that you believe that's the path just shows you've done absolutely zero research. Genuinely zero research.
Okay, so how many of the people who sign up for Hustlers University come to you through your social media?
Genuinely zero research.
How many of the people who sign up for Hustlers University come to you through your social media where you direct them to the website?
And Lucy, I encourage you to go out there, do some genuine research, watch my
Did you
videos,
answer my
watch
question?
my videos at length and truly understand.
This is the definition. What is the lover boy method? The lover boy method is a common tactic that involves a pimp, sex trafficker, or abuser targeting vulnerable, poor, and often young women with the impression of creating a romantic relationship. So that's the difference between courting and the lover boy method. Quite a stark difference. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say.
Who sign up for Hustlers University at $49.99 a month come to you because they see your social media comments.
There's an online school called Hustlers University, which I don't own. I influence for, along with many other influencers, and they sign up for our website, which I don't own. And once again, that's nothing to do with me. And you're going to sit here and say that I made a joke. I made a joke online 4 years ago because a woman said that she owned her man's car, and you made a joke, and that means that you, because you're Bugatti, are the most misogynistic, dangerous man in the world. This is going down a path of absolute insanity. It's not true. None of this is true. I don't hurt people. I don't harm people. I'm genuinely a positive influence.
You are renowned.
I'm renowned
for offensive and controversial.
That's not why I'm renowned. I'm actually renowned. I'm actually renowned for helping young men, because we talk about there's a men's mental health crisis, and we pretend to care that men are upset. But as soon as I discuss men's issues, it's misogynistic. It doesn't have to be gender. Just because I believe men have a point of view and men have rights and men are allowed to think and believe and act a certain way that helps them.
This is
that doesn't mean it's anti-female.
behind.
In fact, I believe it's actually pro-female. I think when a man is true to his influence and true to his essence, and he's good within himself, he's a positive influence in the world, and he's positive for the women around him. So just because I discuss men's issues, people say, "Oh, you're anti-woman." I'm not anti-woman. I love women.
Why are so many
He's
women
making
saying
it
that when
worse
their
for
boyfriends
men
start following you,
by making
they
men
experience more control?
So many.
They experience.
How many?
He's not helping men because he's putting out there that basically it's in men's nature to have these toxic characteristics or whatever, which that is not men's nature. Maybe that is cavemen's nature. And there's toxic femininity aspects as well. But I personally believe that a true masculine man does not exhibit these characteristics that Andrew Tate puts forward. I think that masculinity has many amazing and awesome qualities and factors, none of which Andrew Tate promotes. Maybe verbally he does, but actions speak louder than words. Anybody can say they're a good influence, but are you actually being a good influence?
More abuse.
How many?
Enough.
Well, that's the first time I've heard of it. So, in fact,
one is too many.
Oh, of course, yeah. So, in fact, I've seen thousands and thousands of comments and have endless emails from women praising the fact that their sons are listening to me, praising the fact that their husbands.
The things I'm saying, does not worry.
It would worry. It would worry.
You're concerned about
it would worry me if I was genuinely damaging the world. But for you to sit here and say, Andrew, you become the most Googled man in the world, you have billions of views, and one woman is now saying that her husband is not the same man she wants him to be, when thousands and thousands of people are saying the opposite. Well, then I would say that that's.
I presented you with case after case after case, with quote after quote after quote of people who are genuinely concerned about the impact you're having, and you brush it off as if it's nothing.
No, what you have done is come here with an agenda. You've come here with loaded questions. You've come here with things taken out of context.
Then fucking answer them. It just bothers me that he pretends like this isn't what he's known for. So he gets defensive. Just answer the questions, because obviously this is what you're known for. This is what is talked about you. This is how you put yourself out there as. So fucking take the accountability for what you say, for your character, for what you preach, how it comes off to people, whether he thinks it's not true to what he's trying to present or not. He understands how it's read. He understands how it's shown. So take accountability for it, address it, and answer her questions instead of sitting there and pretending like, wow, it's just crazy that you would even pose the idea that I'm some misogynistic, terrible influence on people, when you literally have like a worldwide public open sex trafficking investigation going on currently. You have videos set calling women property. You have videos talking about tricking girls to fall in love with you and to have sex with them so you can control them and make money off of them, and calling women stupid so you can lie to them and steal money from them when they work for you. Like, you can't sit here and pretend that those things don't exist and just like he should just fucking man up and address the shit, because he's just gaslighting the whole situation, because both of them understand how it comes off, whether or not he means it that way, which pretty sure he does. He can say that he doesn't, but we all know 99% sure he does mean it that way. He can just say it doesn't as a defense, and it's just gaslighting. But if he was a real man, he'd fucking address his comments instead of pretending like they don't exist and it's just taken out of context and she's only watched shorts, because it's not true.
One woman said that her boyfriend changed when he watched one of your videos. And then I don't know what you expect me to say to that. That's
sarcastic and jokes.
No.
That's how you explain the comments you make.
For you to sit down.
Would you like to apologize for any of that?
For you to sit down. For you to sit down. It's fine. No, it's fine. It's easy. For you to sit down and say that one woman said that her boyfriend watched an Andrew Tate video and now he won't do the dishes, or whatever your argument is, and that I'm somehow the worst, most dangerous man in the world because I have a car. It's just disingenuous, and I'm enjoying this interview very much because this shows the world It's great. It shows the world the truth about the legacy media because they beg me for interviews.
That is
They've been
such
begging me
a
for months.
minimization
Please, we need to
and
be relevant.
exaggeration
And
at the
you come
same
here
time.
with loaded questions trying to paint a picture of me, which is completely and utterly false. I am a good positive influence for the world. The things I teach men are stoicism, discipline, self-respect, hard work, obeying authority, listening to your fight coach, working hard in school.
I love narcissist people because they give me an opportunity to express my anger towards bullies. I agree. I can agree with that.
Making as much money as possible in your job. If you actually watch the things I say, if you actually watch my comments about women, I've done long podcasts for hours long about females, talking about protecting for them, providing for them, how I believe a woman should be treated in a relationship. I've done all of this, but you don't watch any of it, and then you come here and ask me to answer questions I've answered.
I've watched all of it, mister.
Since you came out of custody, there seems to have been a lot about your charity work.
Correct.
On your social
There's
media.
I've always done the charity work, but now I'm promoting.
There seems to be a real shift.
Yeah.
I wonder what's behind that.
Well, I've always done the charity work. I've been doing the charity work for years. I believe that it's my legacy to leave a positive influence on the world, and I've been doing charity work for over 5 years. Post my incarceration, my unfair, unjust incarceration, may I add. Post that, I've made it more clear the charity work I'm doing. But this is, once again, very interesting.
Oh.
I spend $25 million a year feeding children.
Tate does do charity work.
Male children and female
That's
children.
true.
In Turkey, in Syria, and Iran, and Iraq. I literally spent $25
Should we
million
look at
a
some
year
of his charity
feeding
work?
children. And I'm still the worst man in the world because 4 years ago I made a sarcastic comment.
Because some people would look at
Let's
that
look
and
at
say,
some of
okay,
that
so
charity
before
work.
you got money.
Why don't we look at some of that charity work? Why don't we? Here's some of his charity work. Can you see that? How do I zoom in? There we go. This is a tweet that I screenshot from Tate. Do you feel like a failure that the amount you need to help your own son is less than a quarter that I spent on one of my 5 cars? I will help you if you ask. It's nothing to me. Your comic books, and your is spelled wrong. Your comic books have failed, but I am a success. Ask nicely and I'll save your son. Very nice charity work Andrew Tate does. He's a super generous person. Back to the video.
Site by making controversial comments, but that might have got you into trouble. And so now you're looking for a new market. You're looking for a new market of followers who are attracted by a different sort of persona.
I've always done the charity work, so that is obviously incorrect. And I have proof that I've always done the charity work, so you're wrong, firstly. I believe that if you have a lot of wealth, you should help people, and I'm helping people. I also think it's very, very interesting that you could not find another celebrity in the UK or anywhere else who's spending 25 million pounds a year feeding children in war-torn countries. I'm doing that, and I've been doing that for a long time without even mentioning it. I never even said it. And now that I've said it, people are going to attack me for it and say that it's disingenuous.
That's
not true. The person in Sudan who's eating the meal, do you think they believe it's disingenuous? No, I think they feel pretty good that Andrew Tate fed them. And to sit here and say that I'm a bad person now because I'm manipulating charity, because I'm using charity, I'm just trying to do good in the world. That's all I've ever been trying to do.
When women speak out against you online, disagree with what you say, they describe being bombarded with rape threats, with death threats, trolling by your followers. Would you like to say anything to your followers about how to behave in that situation?
Absolutely, correct. I would love to do that. First things first, I've yet to see a female stand up and argue with me online. I don't ever see hardly any. Although only women who message me agree with it. Secondly, I don't think that anybody who disagrees with me, male or female, should be controlled. I don't
Again.
I don't play video games. And someone were to sit there and say something stupid, they would be trolled with similar comments. That's the unfortunate reality of the internet as a whole. That's nothing to do with me. But I encourage all of my followers to engage in open discourse and be fair and honest and talk in a way which is mature. There's no need to troll anybody, male or female.
Okay.
Kathy,
A couple of things. I wonder if it'd be worth giving Andrew one more opportunity to consider whether or not he would like to apologise or give an indication of how he feels about the allegations that he has negatively influenced young people in the UK. And secondly, I think we should put on record that this interview is taking place in your house because you're under house arrest. If it were not for that, then we would have chosen another location, I'm sure. We would have negotiated that between us. So I think that's just worth putting on record.
Okay. So just to put on the record then, you said that you've invited us into your house.
Correct.
We're here because you're under house arrest.
Correct.
If you were free to leave, we would have negotiated a more neutral setting.
Don't you think, as the BBC, it would be very interesting to come here and discuss the fact that I was put in a dungeon for 92 days and then locked in house arrest without charge? Don't you think that's a far more interesting conversation than old YouTube snippets? Don't you think that would be interesting?
You're here under house arrest because there's an ongoing investigation into rape and human trafficking allegations against you.
Correct. I've been incarcerated without charge. And don't you think
The rape allegation
it's been dropped?
has been incarcerated for.
Correct. So I'm incarcerated without
That
charge.
is
I think that would be a far more interesting conversation than I guess
not what I
Julian
read.
Assange is incarcerated without charge, and nobody's interested in that either. So if you actually wanted to do some,
But I wouldn't doubt that they wouldn't find it. It's very hard to actually
has had his liberty deprived. And I think that would be a far more interesting angle than talking
successfully
about me being the most dangerous man in the world.
charge for rape. That
And this
doesn't
question
mean
about schools
doesn't
being very
happen.
worried about your influence. Boys in primary school, or boys as young as 11, are quoting you at school, attacking girls, refusing to respect female teachers. Would you like to say anything about that?
I'd like to say a lot. First things first, as I've repeatedly said, and the only reason I keep repeating it is because I'm sure this interview will be edited. I am a positive force for the world, and I teach children discipline. I teach the world discipline, male or female, of any age. And a lot of women listen to me as well. 40% of the people who listen to me are actually female. Secondly, I do understand with my massive influence, and I am now the one of the most influential people on the planet, that I do have to be slightly more careful with things I say. I'm not going to disagree with that. The idea that I said something 5 years ago on a video that got 300 views.
So what do you mean, being slightly more careful?
I'll give you an example. Some of the jokes I made 4 or 5 years ago on a YouTube channel that got 300 views, I would no longer make.
Like what?
Like the OnlyFans joke, the one you mentioned repeatedly. When she said, "My man's car is my car," and then she said she did OnlyFans, and I said, "What do you saw on OnlyFans?" She said, "My tits," and I said, "Well, those are your man's tits." As a joke, ha ha ha. Everybody laughed. The fact that I could do that on a podcast 5 years ago and only got 300 views. Now I understand I'm the most influential man on the face of the planet. I would be more careful with certain things I say. That doesn't mean the things I originally said.
He wasn't,
were genuinely
though.
out to harm people.
Do you really believe you're the most influential man on the face of the planet?
I'm the most Googled person on the planet.
He definitely was not.
Influential man on the face of the planet.
I'm the most Googled man on the planet.
I think we're done.
Stuff about women like that they're your property.
That's not what I said. I was talking about an OnlyFans company when that question was asked. But I said that if a woman is going out with a man, she belongs to that man. That's his woman. So if she wants to do OnlyFans, she owes him some money because she's his. Yes, that's what I said.
Think that's crazy. You think if a man, so you think that a man going out with a girl that's just your property? There can't be an equal relationship?
That one was nuts.
Let's do one more time.
That one was nuts.
Like you say a lot of stuff about women like that they're your property.
That's not what I said. I was talking about an OnlyFans company when that question was asked. But I said that if a woman is going out with a man, she belongs to that man. That's his woman. So if she wants to do OnlyFans, she owes him some money because she's his. Yes, that's what I said.
That's crazy.
You think if a
Yes,
man,
that's what I said.
So you
That's
think
what he
that a
said.
man going out with a girl that's just your property? There can't be an equal relationship?
That one was nuts. That one was nuts.
This is where he goes crazy.
No, but no, that one you can. If I understood what you said, that if a guy and a girl is dating and a girl does OnlyFans, she owes him a cut.
No, 100%.
Girl,
100%.
She is his girl.
But what does that have to do with anything?
Because she's his.
Yeah, so that's
So that is you saying that women are your property.
This is the part where
is
you're
what
trying to
he's
convince
saying.
Nazis not to kill Jews.
Yeah.
It's not a sane thing he's saying.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
All right, I'm from the old school. We use matches.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, you take the match and you.
Yes, you do. Be a misogynist. Go. Come on, don't be a pussy. What you do OnlyFans. Like my bitch. I wouldn't even mind my girl doing OnlyFans as long as I kept all the money. I wouldn't give a shit. If I had a girl who said I want to do OnlyFans, I'm like, cool, go for it. Let me know how much money we make.
You're keeping all of it though?
Fuck yes. She's mine.
100%. You're keeping all profits.
I mean, I might let her buy us some shoes or something. But all in all, I mean, it goes into my bank, and I might gift her something depending if she's been good that month. But she's my property, so she's selling my property. Like if we're gonna rent out my house, then I get the money, right? You're my chick, you're my property. You're gonna sell pictures of my property. Cool. Where's my money? How much money did we make? My money. Give me my money.
Maybe she should get maybe 50-50.
What? Why? What's wrong with you?
Well,
on what point should she get 50% of my money? Why would I give half my money to her?
I don't.
Mine.
Yeah.
Why would I give her half of my money?
Yeah. No, I understand.
Bro, you've been drinking too much of that soy shit, bro.
You're right. I gotta start drinking this. I do.
You gotta start drinking fucking water, and you'll know he's fucking has my money, selling my product. Jesus Christ, I'm mad already, and she didn't even suggest it. You're out here talking shit to all these females. They're gonna watch this crap and start believing they should get half. You should apologize to the world. All
right, so that was the end of the interviews. Should we look at the actual Romanian law enforcement released document now? I think we should. Why not? Let me pull it up here. Okay. There's so much evidence on him. Look, people are upset because he was in jail for 4 months with no evidence or with no charge. Because in Romania, it's different there. The law is different there. They were seen as flight risks and also a potential threat to the victims in the case, potential victims in the case. So they were put in jail while the investigation was ongoing, which is legal in Romania. Andrew Tate chose to move to Romania specifically because of the corruption and to escape the Me Too movement. So he chose to live there. He has to face the consequences. People can't complain about, the country's laws, facing the country's laws that they chose to move to specifically. That's ridiculous. So I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel bad. All right. Here it is. I hate StreamYard. I fucking hate StreamYard. Okay. All right. Here is the 86-page Romanian court document that has been released about a week ago. Let's go to page 0 or 1. There is no page 0. Duh. Okay, this is translated into English, so hence Romania being translated to Romania. Okay, it's kind of funny. Bucharest Court of Appeals, Second Criminal Section. So this is the Court of Appeals. So Andrew Tate, or the Tate. So they put the last name first. Tate, the third. Emery Andrew Tate the third. That's who this is. Andrew Tate's real name is Emery, which is his dad's name. He goes by Andrew Tate, which is Andrew's his middle name. Emery Andrew Tate the third. And TT is Tristan Tate. This is I forget what they call her. She's the other girl. And then this is Georgiana whatever, Nigel or whatever. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. And I forget the other girl's name. I always forget her name. Okay. So this is kind of like the appeal. Let's go to some of the evidence. This is long. I tried to go through this and it was just a lot. I like highlighted some parts and then it all got lost and I was like, oh, fuck. So I'm just reading. The judge from Bucharest Court assessed that the arrest of the defendants is necessary to avoid their evasion for prosecution or trial, considering their financial possibilities and public statements of the defendant, AT, who stated, in case in which there's a risk of going to prison, he can leave the territory of the country without problems. Correctly, the judge at the Bucharest Court assessed that the arrest of the defendants is necessary to prevent the commission of crimes. Okay, so why am I reading that? Because of this fucking bullshit propaganda that Tate supporters like to feed people. Like this. Where is it? Where is it? Sorry, 1 second. You know what? Let me go my history. Okay, should be here it is. Okay, this was 7 days ago. Adam from Saucecast or whatever, Adam Saucecast, whatever, from Value Entertainment is always backing, supporting, and making excuses for Andrew Tate. So let's see what excuse he made the other day. Here we go.
A man in your life to look up to. So I think it's just like a desirable type of thing.
Right there, y'all. Natalia, bring us home. Why do women not like this man or things he says? And why do you think most men do?
Well, I think it's pretty simple. I
Thank
think
you for
Angela
being
hit
here.
really
I
great points
appreciate
as well.
you
But
so much.
if you think about it, he's more of supposed to be an
New
example
here,
for
new
gentlemen.
streamer.
So he's gonna
Appreciate
deliver a
any
message for
support.
gentlemen to respond to and like understand. It's hard to take advice for somebody who's not in your place or like even your gender. Like a man giving you advice like how to deal with your period, you're gonna be like, no, you don't know how to.
No, Dylan Mulvaney will help you out
Okay,
with that.
exactly
He's
my
got you.
point. And look how Bud Light is doing now.
Yeah.
But you know, a lot of the time it's like because we are emotional, there's nothing wrong with that. We have to maybe be delivered the message in a different way. You know, if he's saying like women, you know, that's my property, you have to think about it like this. Like when you have your husband, right, or your man, you want him to claim you. Right? You want him to protect you like he's your you're his property. You want him to take care of you. You want him to maintain you. You want him to go
not like I'm
above
his
and beyond
property.
because you're his.
This
So
is
again,
cope.
it's literally just the context of it. But mind you, in order to get through to some of these gentlemen, you have to have that locker room talk. And I think he's able to get through to some men. And there are some men who just take it overboard and they disrespect women and they don't get the message he's trying to come across. But I think it's the way the message is being delivered. So I like to, especially with the podcast we have and the different people we have, whenever people say things and I maybe get triggered or I may be emotional about it, I take a step back and I'm like, why does that bother me? Right? Where's something in me that's bothering me that I feel
This
like
isn't the
offended
part
by
I care
this?
about, frankly.
So I think it's a matter
Tom, because I know that you know these women are saying that a lot of women respond emotionally, that I might not like one thing that he said, so now I hate them.
Mhm.
Right? Whereas a lot of men are like, dude, I've seen this guy saying.
By the way, this whole thing that women are more emotional than men are is complete bullshit. There's no evidence for it. If you look it up, there's no research that women are more emotionally like based than men are. Men are not more logically based, wired than women are. It is complete bullshit. There's no evidence. There's no research to back that up. It's a complete myth.
A million awesome things that I fully agree with.
Right.
Yeah, and there's maybe some questionable things with that. I'm not gonna, you know, throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? So, what's your perspective?
There
I
is no
think that
baby in
women
that
don't
bathwater.
like him because he's
Throw it all
everything that
out.
their partner isn't. So he's saying a lot of things that don't align with the thing you want to be or
This girl Angela, bro, she's just right there,
Hold
y'all.
on, I'm trying to get to the part where not Andrew, what's his name? Adam lies to everybody. Recent court updates here, let's see. Here it is, I think.
If you would. But here's some of the things that the recent court filings basically revealed. And this to me is the reason that I wanted to do this story. So they said, quote unquote, we also consider, this is because he has basically been accused of human trafficking, sex trafficking, which are very serious charges, okay? And
They
we
are?
know that he's boisterous and loud and says things and a lot of things eloquently and some things I'm sure he would like to take back. But just because you say things doesn't mean that you did them or that you can have proven that you've done something. But basically, here's what this is. And this is, to me, where I had a bone to pick. This is from the Romanian courts. This is what they came out and said. We also consider that the length of the period spent in jail has been here it is, fair warning for the defendants and made them understand that their judicial situation as well as the consequences of the situation for their future and for the future of their families. So
Maybe we shouldn't look to social media as useful forms of information. No, I 100% agree, but the problem is people do. People do believe this stuff, especially when he has a little note card and says, the Romanian courts recently released this, blah, 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 which they did. He's reading like one line out of an 86-page thing. And it's not true. Actually, I'm pretty sure what he's reading is a statement from Andrew Tate's lawyer, like in their defense. So it's not even like really from the court. And I'm gonna debunk it in a second. But this is exactly why people shouldn't take information from social media, but unfortunately people do, and they fall for it all the time, which is why I'm talking about this.
The court ruled house arrest was enough to ensure a fair investigation and preventing other crimes, and the courts extended the restrictions until May 29th. So the court came out and said that the reason that they sent the Tates home to be on house arrest was because basically they've been in jail long enough. We've delivered our message. We don't like what you stand for. And we've given you a fair warning that it's okay for you to go home. What kind of nonsense is that? Like, go to jail as a fair warning? Like, you either did something wrong and they proved it and you go to jail, or you're set free. They're held in jail for 4 or 5 months as a warning?
Yeah.
That to me is ridiculous. So
This is a complete mischaracterization. So once again, if we look at the actual Romanian court document and don't just take this random content creator for his word. Fuck. Sorry. I hate StreamYard. It's so annoying to work. It's not easy at all. Okay. Let's see. Why do I have to do this every time? Okay. Now go back here again. Okay. So if we look at this instead, oh, but now I should present it. Okay, so if we look at this instead, so what did he just say? He said that the Romanian courts pretty much just arrested them as a, oh my God, what did he say? He said, they're as a warning. They're held in jail as a warning. That's what he's saying. But no, this is what they're really held in jail for. The Bucharest court assessed that the arrest of the defendants is necessary to avoid their evasion from prosecution of trial, considering their financial possibilities, and public statements of the defendant, Andrew Tate, who stated that in the case in which there is a risk of going to prison, he can leave the territory of the country without problems. Correctly, the judge at the Bucharest court assessed that the arrest of the defendants is necessary to prevent the commission of other crimes. It was not a warning. Defendant Andrew Tate is not just a defendant who committed the crime of human trafficking. In the opinion of the prosecutor, he is equally a theoretician of the crime of human trafficking, who disseminates through social networks his primitive conceptions regarding how they can be exploited, women having tens of thousands of followers. So basically what they're saying is Andrew Tate not only, the prosecution not only believes that Andrew Tate is a human trafficking committing criminal, but that he also uses his large reach, his large audience as students to teach them how to manipulate women and essentially traffic them as well with his social network. So he uses his theories of the crime of human trafficking, and through his social networks, he teaches these concepts of how to exploit women to his tens of thousands of followers. I think he actually has millions of followers. So yeah, this is all why he's been arrested. And all of this was done legally it all follows the Romanian law. Nothing has been out of sorts. Andrew Tate chose to move to Romania on purpose, and so he has to follow the laws there. It's not Britain, it's not the United States, it's Romania, which he chose to move to. So, talk about accountability. All right, let's see what else is in here. Okay. Am I sharing? Okay, cool. The claim. Here, I'm just going to do the read aloud thing for this. Shit. I don't know why this is not fucking working. All right, whatever. Fuck this. Okay. The claim of the lawyers that the victims could have left at any time is baseless and attempts to make a mockery of the victims. Thus, from the statements of the injured persons, it follows that they were always accompanied from the conversations of the defendants, Tristan. It follows that they forbade them to leave the house alone. From the statement of the injured person, it follows that there were armed guards in the yard. Moreover, the injured person explained that he did not call the police because the defender, Tristan Tate, scared her by implying that she is being watched all the time with surveillance cameras placed all over the house. She stated that once when she was writing something, the defendant, Tristan Tate, sent her a message and told her he saw her writing. The defenders of the defendants stated there is no evidence or medical legal documents to prove that the physical violence. There are no such medical legal documents because the defendants acted on the sly, leaving no traces. For example, from the statement of the injured person, it follows that the defendant, Georgiana, in order to avoid leaving traces of violence on the body of one of the girls who had a recent breast implant, lifted her arm in order to undo the operation, after which he affirmed that she is not stupid to beat her to leave her marks. Ow. I have not had breast implants, but I've heard that, like, oh, that sounds so painful. Wow. So, yeah, there is evidence for this shit. This is the appeals court. So,